and we're going to talk today about how to improve the funnel. Now, what I call improving the funnel is this part here in the middle, activation. That part that if you talk with 5 startups, each one is going to give you a different definition of what activation is. For me, is that big void between acquisition, bringing people to the website, and retention, that people keep using it. Now, when we think about this part of the funnel, we always think, okay, how can I improve this part? What I learned after a lot of years of doing that and not going really well is that we have to look at what is not there. The people that got stuck. And trying to understand who are they and why they are stuck. Why I'm saying that? Let's see an example. So we have our company, we are bringing visits. Let's say that they are kind of qualified, they are interested in the product. And we realize, yeah, we have a lot of traffic, we don't have signups, not enough. What can we do to improve this? And then you will start having great ideas. Like, I know, let's make the sign up form shorter. Let's make it just one button. Or why don't we add a promotion on the home, sign up now and get X? Okay. And you start getting more signups. But then you look at the data, it's like, look, we have a ton of people that is signing up, they never use the product. What can we do? And you will start having great ideas. Like, I know, let's send them a drip email campaign. No, much better. How long is the trial? 14 days? Let's send them 13 emails, one a day, and the last day, an email saying that the trial is expiring. For sure, they're going to use it. Even if it's just to come and unsubscribe to the newsletter. And you have more people using it, or at least doing a session, something. And you realize, yeah, nobody's left after 2 weeks. So what do we do? And you will have more great ideas like, I know, we have to gamify this. Or my personal favorite, the we missed you email. That is something like, Dear Diego, we noticed that you are not using the product recently. You ungrateful piece of shit. So we were working our asses off, and this is how you pay us back? Look, why don't you stop being a child and come back like now? Which, if you think about it, is kind of the true meaning of that email. So, what all these tactics have in common? 2 things. The first one is that they probably sound familiar because this is what everyone else does. Which doesn't imply at all that is the best thing to do. It just means that is what everyone else does. And I'm saying that because if you look at this, none of these tactics solve the cause of the problem. They are just pushing people down the funnel. What do I mean with that? Look, people is not signing up to your product, not because the sign up form is 5 fields long. They are not signing up because they read the homepage and they don't understand a fucking single thing. That is what they are not signing up. So the thing is, we need to understand what these causes are. But we start always with, what can we do to improve the funnel? And we end up pushing. So first learning of the day, start with who got stuck and why, that is, the part that is not there. Solve that, so we have a fundamentally better product. And then, maybe you want to use some of these things. Because of course, they help a little bit, but as we will see, they create more problems than benefits. So, okay, let's see what these blockers are, why people get stuck. The first thing is to understand the why, and we will call that blockers. The second thing is that while people is trying to adopt your product, they're going to go through different stages, different mindsets. And the blockers are different in each mindset. So what we need is a way to understand what these mindsets are, a way to measure when a mindset finishes and the next one starts, and then start understanding what the blockers are. And to do that, we are going to use the mindset funnel. We're going to look at the funnel not from our point of view, our screens and our flows. We're going to look at it from the customer point of view. They're trying to adopt the product. So we're going to use Hailie as a customer. Hailie is the community manager of a startup, and we will see how she switches from one solution to another. So Hailie as a customer. Now, she has a current situation that is, I work in a small startup and I have to do the whole thing because we don't have a graphic designer. So we're going to talk about a tool that is about editing photos. But first, people don't wake up one day thinking, today I'm going to buy your product. There has to be something that forces me to go through the whole hassle of adopting a new solution. So usually there is a context change. And what happened here is the CEO came one day and told Hailie, look, you're doing a great job. And the social channels that we have are really getting traction. So I want us to double down on that. So instead of one post a week, why don't we post twice a day? Which Hailie thought immediately, shit. Because now she has an inability. And this is what makes people buy things. I need to do something and I can't. And what she can't do right now is to post 10 cool photos each week on Facebook using Mac Photos. Like, she needs hours to get a photo that looks kind of okay and is never like super professional. That worked when it was one, but not now. So let's do the journey with her. First, we need somebody that has an inability. Hailie, okay. Now we're going to try to understand just the whole adoption process, these different stages. And we need ways to measure that. So we will have the mindset, and then we will try to think, what is the action that we can measure that is telling us that person is in that mindset or the next one? So the first mindset is, maybe this can help. This is Hailie going to Google, quick way to edit photos. How do we measure that? It's a visit on our site. From her side is a click. Checks the first one, it's like, okay, this is bullshit. Goes back, checks the second one. The next mindset is, I want to play with it. So how do we know she went from, I'm checking your homepage to, I really want to see this closer. I want to, like, what you are saying on paper sounds good. Let me use it. To measure that, we need something that has more intent than a click, something with more friction. And we will call that the first meaningful action, and as an event that is not free, something farther than just visiting things. It can be just a sign up. Now you see that if we remove a lot of the friction here, then it's not working as a first meaningful action. So we have a sign up. How do we know that the sign up got to the next mindset that is, okay, I can see this being my new tool and finally forgetting about Mac Photos? How do we know that? NPS survey? Okay. We are trying to see if she is making progress towards adopting the product. So she will do what we will define as the core action. What is that thing that represents completing the task, as in is solving the inability? So something that we can measure. She wants to post photos on Facebook, but we don't know if she's doing that. But we can know if at least if we are a photo editing tool, exporting the photo, that probably means that she's kind of happy with the results. So now we call this an active user. No. She's just playing with it. And the first export doesn't mean that she's happy. It means that she's playing with the export feature. And she will do that again and again. And she will play a little bit until she gets to a point that is, okay. And we will call that the realization moment. That can be, let's say, 5 photos. Okay. Now what? That's it. You see that there is a lot left. The next mindset is it works every time. And why this is not the same? Because she just realized she understood it, she tested a few features that she had in mind and they were there. What about, do I have all my photos here? Do I know how to do that thing that I really know how to do with Mac Photos? Can I export in the formats that I need, the resolution that I need? So even if you like that thing, there is still a journey that goes after that. Until once and twice and 3 times you are using it and it works. You are not missing anything. There is not another thing to set up. There is not something that I have to tweak. It just works. And we will define that as the hard activated moment. Now we have an activated user, and this can be 20 photos. Look at this. We're not saying that activation is from sign up to the first action. The first action is she toying around. Activation is from sign up, or first meaningful action, to the point where everything is working for her. And now starts retention. That is the mindset, okay, this is still working for me. To understand if that is happening, we need the frequency cycle. What is the normal pace of use? That for her is several times a week. Why do we need this thing here and not before? Because the timing on activation is really erratic. Like, she discovers the tool, plays a little bit the first day, is like, I will continue tomorrow. And tomorrow she's busy preparing all the new content to post twice a day. And maybe she doesn't come back in 2 weeks. But she was here. She thought, yeah, I have this thing ready. I just have to finish the setup. So timing is irregular. But once everything is working and integrated, you adopted the solution, you will have like a more predictable pace. And how do we know if it still works for her? Because there is a correction that we can just measure with export at least 1 photo a week. If she exports 10, it's good. But 1 means it's still working for her. Because the opposite would be when she's thinking, this doesn't work for me anymore. There is no correction. This is called a cycle because missing 1 cycle maybe is not the end of the world, but missing 2 can be. So we have a way to layer retention. Good. So now we have the whole overview. And the cool thing is that we can group that in different stages that represent these mindsets. Exploring, trying, integrating, using, and living. Now we have the stages, and we have ways to know who is where based on these key metrics. Now we just need to know why people get stuck in each stage. So let's do that. Exploring, that is everything up to the first meaningful action. Somebody there is just trying to answer a single question, that is, I have an inability, can you help me with that? This is not, I want a photo editing tool, let's see how many features you have. No, this is, I need something that is really fast, that spits out really cool photos because I have to post a shit ton. That is what she's looking for. And why that can fail? So some of the classic blockers, not an exhaustive list, but the most important ones. I don't understand what you do. I understand what you do, but I don't understand how are you going to help me. Remember, quick, cool photos, not photo editing tool with 20 things. And one way that we use to infer the second question is, if this is used by people like me, probably it has everything that I need. And she went to Adobe Photoshop Elements. That tries to be a lightweight photo editing tool. But see, this is the homepage, is intelligent editing, flawless photos, cool creations. I don't know what the fuck is this. What do you do? Is this AI for photos? Is this like Dropbox for, like, I don't know. And it looks like for professional photos because this is not the format or the colors or the type of photo that I put on Facebook. So I'm out. And then she goes to Canva. Design for everyone. Okay, it's probably even worse than this one. But she looks at the photo, is like, oh shit, that's exactly what I do. Like, I pick a photo, I like to put filters, this looks like a cool Instagram photo. That's exactly what I need. So that homepage is saved by that image. But she sticks. In the other case, no sign up, no FMA. Now, trying. Remember, somebody that signs up just means what I saw on paper makes sense. And now, prove it. Let me see if this is for me. Reasons why you can sign up and never get to the realization moment, these 5 export photos in this example. It doesn't even work for me. I don't know where to start. Or, yes, I get it. Where are the features that I need, not like features that you have? And she goes to Photoshop Elements. So 6 things here, 7 here, 10 here. And I think they decided to put these 4 apart so you don't feel overwhelmed or something. First, this is a beefy piece of software because this is not like a lightweight app. This is the heavy Photoshop with a lighter, like with less options on top. But what is below is Photoshop. So maybe it doesn't even open. If you have a MacBook Air that is kind of old, forget about it. Now, look, I want to play with this thing. I don't want to do a 3-hour tutorial now to be able to just import a photo. So yeah, fuck it, next. Canva. There is like, Diego, it has also 6 things here. Yeah, read them. Templates, photos, elements, everything else, you don't need it. Okay, so 3. And then drag and drop. She wants to play and she can't play. Let them play. They just want to play with the new toy. And you can do that with Canva. And you can't with this. You don't know like even how to open the first photo. So integrating. Remember, she checked Canva. She really liked it. But now I have to do like the whole integration with my life. This is, I remember to use it, I find time to use it. In her case, that is easy, it's your job. For other B2C products, it's not that easy. But is because of your job, you have workflows. You are coordinating with other people, you have routines, you have also a lot of other tools. And this is the second integration, the migration, the technical one. You have to connect things and sync things and do the whole setup. So there are a million reasons why somebody can really want your product, but they can't use it. They get blocked somewhere. Some of these reasons why they play around 5, realization, but they don't get to the hard activated moment. Because it doesn't integrate with the tools that I have before or after in the workflow. Because the migration process is scary. Like, drag and drop your photos and we will upload them to the cloud. It's like, no, you're not going to do that. And for other type of products, if the frequency is not high enough, then I will keep forgetting about using it. So, and these are just 3 of the million reasons that can block integration. So how can Canva solve this thing? What do? Do you think about, okay, these are all the previous tools that they can use, and then I create like ways to connect with that? Or do we just keep the export photo and then you just copy and paste on Facebook? They solve it the best way possible. That is, okay, people who use Hootsuite, a lot of people, to just like write what they want to post and schedule it. And when you're done with the writing and you need an image, you click and Canva is there. It's perfectly integrated. The workflows work, the technical connections work, the setup work, the formats work, everything just works. So this is one good example of how to do flawless integration. For Canva users that don't use Hootsuite, that's a different story. So finally, we got to the almost end line, the hard activated moment, where somebody is now really using your product because it works every time. Now, something that happens here is the users that get to this threshold have really high retention. Now, they don't have high retention because in this example, they do 20 core actions and 20 is the magical number where they realize how valuable your solution is and you change their life for better and now they kick ass. No, none of that. The hard activated moment is exactly the opposite. It's a way for you to know somebody that dealt with all the blockers, because you will never get to 20 core actions, like in this example, unless you dealt with all the blockers. So this is telling us, okay, I don't know if they dealt it in a reasonable way, like using the intended features, or they had to hack the whole thing and they have workarounds everywhere, but they made it. And starting from here, because it works every time, it's much easier to stick with your solution than to switch to anything else. And that is why retention is so high. So now we have the stages, we know the blockers. It's like, great, how do I improve my funnel? We said never ask how do I improve my funnel because you end up pushing. Let's flip it. Let's talk about push and pull. We have our funnel. We have our key events with the ones in the example, sign up 5, 20, and 20, and 1 in 7 days. That for you will be different. Maybe it's still sign up, but maybe this is 10 or 50 or 3. More on that tomorrow. Now, remember, don't look at the columns, look at what is not there. So some people go through, some people find a blocker and drop. And the drop here in these 3 stages is massive. Now, once they get to the hard activated moment, you will see that the drop is much smaller. And it's working for them all the time. So this drop is not caused by a blocker. It's usually caused by another context change. Like, yeah, our startup grew, now we hired a graphic designer. He's using Photoshop because he knows how to use it, so I'm out. And they cancel Canva. There will be some of these, but that are difficult to solve. But there are a ton of people that you can still help. Now, you have 2 options. You can push, as we mentioned at the beginning. Or you can understand what the specific blockers are. Remember, these are some examples. You will have your own blockers there. And fix them. So you're letting the customers pull your product because they want to pull it. They came there because they have an inability and they see that you could help. And now you're thinking, yeah, but, well, first, before you think that, let me put a couple of examples. As I said before, people is not signing up because the sign up form is long. No, they're not signing up because they visited the homepage. And if in the chance that they understand what you do, they don't understand why. If you are the third tool that they are checking to solve that inability, why are you different than the others? But not different as in, this is my differentiator. Different as in, you are the only one that can help me to get quick, cool photos to Facebook. So it's not about any differentiator. It's like, what makes you different so I care about that? And from sign up to the realization moment, look, people is not getting to 5 core actions, not because they are missing your 4th email that has that mind-blowing tip. If that 4th email has a mind-blowing tip, then what you are doing here is having like a super lazy patch, because that should be part of the product experience. I should discover that while using the product. So all these pushes are just patches, aids trying to solve like a bad product design, bad messaging, bad in general experience. Now, 2, you can think, sure, get it. But anyways, if I have a sorted sign-up form or I spam them with emails, I know that my conversion rate goes up a little bit. True, a little bit. And what happens? That you start pushing the homepage until there is no more pushes to do. You read all the growth hack books that are out there, and you have the whole set. And you grew a little bit, and then it doesn't grow anymore. And of course, the conversion rate from sign up onwards is a disaster, because you are throwing people here that just sign up because they saw that offer. Is like, look, I don't know what you do. I'm going to sign up just in case. I care and I don't want to miss the offer. That doesn't mean that they want to sign up. They don't want to miss the offer just in case. So you stop growing, the conversion rate doesn't move, sign up to retention is a disaster, and then you start talking with them. Like, oh, okay, let's see what we fix here. And they will start telling you things, and you will build that. And nothing will change, because you're talking with the wrong people, because they shouldn't be there in the first place. So you end up building the wrong features, because they don't care. They were just dragged there. So push also creates a lot of noise that makes more difficult to learn. The thing is, when you push, the numbers go up a little bit, but you don't know if this is solved. And it's more difficult to solve because now you have a lot of noise, you are talking with people, and you don't know who to trust and what to do. Think about the opposite. What if you don't do any of this? You don't push at all. Now, the only way to grow in that case is actually solving this. So if you want a really, really tight homepage with great messaging, remove all the pushes. Make even the sign-up form longer. Like, friction is what is going to help you understand they get it, they want to move to the next mindset versus bullshit. So you get it. Wrapping up. As you saw, activation is not from sign up to they use it once, okay, an active user. No, this takes weeks. And they get stuck in different places for mutually exclusive reasons. That is, somebody that gets stuck at integrating because realizes, yeah, there is no way to make this work with my other tool, so I'm not going to use it. That person understood what is this thing, was able to play with it, it worked for, so all these reasons were already solved. That's what I mean with mutually exclusive. So, if we know the stages, we have our events to put everyone in each place, and then we talk with them to see why they drop, we can know what to do, the right thing to do, and in the right order, because we have also magnitudes of drop. Or you can push. And the numbers will grow a little bit. But you don't know if you solve the blocker. So, yeah, please don't push. Thank you. Okay. One more thing. I have to drink water. Now you're thinking, sure, sounds good. I'm gonna rethink this push and pull, how to leverage friction so I can learn more and improve the fundamentals. But I don't really need like this whole funnel thingy, the first meaningful action, the hard activated moment. Why measuring that? Okay, we have our funnel, and you can split that in two. The hard activated users that reach the hard activated moment, that have really high retention, and everyone else that we will call the being activated users. Now, these people have a lot of blockers in front of them. So just a few will get to hard activated, as little as 5%. One classic step that sometimes you want to add to this funnel is the first correction, because the drop from even before the realization moment, from sign up to first correction, can be pretty big. Not in this case, in this example, but it can be big. And then you measure, hey, how many of the ones that did one get to 20? And you realize 15%, which is an okay number. I see that a lot. Good. And now, in a different meeting, you're talking about this and showing investors, hey, look, we're killing it. Look at our weekly active users. We are a rocket. But here you are mixing the being activated, that we know that a lot of them are gonna disappear, with the hard activated. So if you're only using this and decide not to do the funnel, then you have a case of the Schrödinger startup, where you can be dead or alive actually at the same time. And the only way to know is lifting the lead. And if we do that, and we look below this column, we can see this, where we split in our weekly active users in hard activated that look healthy, and being activated. And here what is going on is you bring people, you activate them, and they stay, and you bring more people, and you activate them, and the previous state, so it stacks, and so on and so forth. It's beautiful. Or it can look like this, which, by the way, I see that a lot too, where you keep getting better at bringing people, not at making them adopt your product. And you have more growth hacks and more channels and more affiliates sending you traffic from Viagra websites and more pushes everywhere where you can push. Sure, this number is not moving. So this column here, yeah, looks great there. Here it looks like in 2 weeks, just a small fraction of that is going to remain. Everyone else is left. The day that you stop acquisition, that drops to this level. In the other case, you stop acquisition and the losses are going to be minimal. Both scenarios under the same weekly active users report. So I ask you again, are you going to build a mindset funnel? And now for real, thank you very much.